joining me. I thought I would just come on here. I just got back from a nice jog. I haven't been jogging in a long time, so I know I'm going to be tight in the morning, so I just wanted to come to my mat and do some light stretching. Also, if you've gone, this is great for a hike too, any kind of walking, anything like that. It's really great to come onto your mat and get those stretches out. I brought with me 2 blocks just in case I need them. Sometimes it just feels good. These are nice little tools to have to kind of bring the floor up to meet our hands. So we're going to begin in seated. I'm going to sit on my block. This allows your seat bones to kind of sit a little bit higher, especially if you have tight hips. So I'm just going to come to easy pose here. Open up my chest. Kind of settle into my body. Gently close my eyes if that feels comfortable to you. Allow your jaw to relax. Having a little bit of space in between your teeth. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and allow them to sink back and down. Softening the skin around your eyes. And begin to notice your inhales and your exhales. I'm going to bring my hands to my knees and just do some nice gentle cat-cows. So we're just going to bring our chest forward. Maybe our gaze travels up towards the ceiling, maybe not. Noticing what feels good to your body. And then curling that back, sinking that chin to your chest. And also knowing that your pelvis is also making a little scooping motion here too. So we're getting movement all the way from our seat bones up into our head. Last one here. I'm going to plant my left hand down onto the floor and inhale, opening up that right side. And at any time, if you are sitting on a block and it becomes uncomfortable or you're just doesn't feel good, then please feel free to come off of that. Right hand comes down, left hand comes up. The most important thing we can do when we come to our mat is really listen to our body. How are we feeling? It's not about judgment or getting to that certain place or a pose looking a certain way. It's about really tuning into what feels good to ourselves, and that helps us become better yogis as well as better humans out in the world. So let's make our way into tabletop. We are going to keep those toes tucked to kind of open up the back of those feet, making sure our fingers are spread wide, wrists are below our shoulders, knees are below our hips. And let's do some nice cat-cows. So sinking our belly to the floor, inhale, looking forward. And then tucking our chin, curling our back. Let's just do one more here. And then meeting in that neutral spine, we're going to send our seat bones back to our heels. And make sure that your heels are not splaying out, that they're up and straight. And if it feels good, you can walk your hands back to your knees. If this creates enough sensation in your feet, then stay here, or you can always come up on to your seat. Ooh, let's walk that out. Release those toes, tap them on your mat. We're gonna come into our first down dog. So let's tuck those toes again, sending ourselves up into down dog. And let's walk those feet out as wide as our mat. Maybe we're alternating, bending one knee and then the other. Taking a few rounds of breath here. And our next inhale, we're going to send our gaze up to the top of our mat as we bring that right foot in between our hands. Now this is a spot where if you have blocks, you can grab those blocks, allowing the floor to come up to you and reposition that back foot. And then allow that left knee to sink down to the mat, finding low lunge. Your hands can stay here, or if you have that strong foundation, you can inhale here, listening to your body. And then as you exhale, we're going to do half splits. So extending that front leg, blocks can travel so that they're underneath your shoulders. And then exhale, pressing into that right foot. We're going to bring that left foot to meet that right. Allowing our blocks to go off to the side. I'm going to step out a little bit wider. Feels better to me to step a little bit wider in my forward fold. Knees can have a nice generous bend here. We're going to inhale as we stand up, reaching up. And then exhale, hands come together as we sink down into that forward fold. Releasing hands down to the floor, step back into that downward facing dog. Feet can either be hip width distance or wide as your mat. Playing with that foot placement. What do you notice? What feels better? Do they feel the same? And then sending that gaze up to the top of our mat, we're going to bring that left foot and place it in between our hands. Finding those blocks again, we're going to reposition that back foot if you had your feet out wide. Holding here in the high lunge, and then releasing that right knee down, finding low lunge. And knowing that you can stay here or coming up here. And then let's sink those seat bones back. We're going to find half splits. Keeping that chest nice and open. We don't want to curl or collapse in towards our body. We want to keep that nice and open. On your next exhale, press into that left leg, and then we're going to bring that right leg to meet that left in a forward fold. Removing the blocks so they're still at a reachable distance. Let's inhale as we roll up to standing. Lengthening here. Bringing hands together, exhaling, drawing that line down, hands stopping at heart center. We're going to do a little upper body twist. So we're going to take that left elbow and left shoulder and bring it to the right side. Exhale, release. And then inhale, right shoulder, right elbow, coming to the left side. Standing here for a few breaths. We're going to slowly roll down into that forward fold. Knees can be nice and bent. Inhale. come to shins. Exhale, release. Step back into that downward facing dog. We're going to exhale those knees down onto our mat and extend that left leg out, tucking those toes. Press into the ball of that left foot. And we're going to take that right foot, right leg, kind of swivel it out like a kickstand. That left leg is going to plant itself so it is parallel with the short sides of our mat. We're going to just open up to the left side. And then exhale, release, coming back into that tabletop. Let's extend that right leg, tucking those toes, pressing into the ball of that right foot. Making sure we are staying with our breath. And then kicking out that left leg like a little kickstand, bringing the arch of that foot so it's placed onto the mat and it's parallel to the short sides of your mat, and opening up to the right. And then exhale, release, coming back into table. This is a great place. We're going to come into supported heroes pose. This is a great place to grab your blocks. Legs are about as wide as the block can be, and placing that under your seat bones. And if you need 2 blocks, a little added support to alleviate the pressure on your knees, great. So I'll turn to face you. You can see what this looks like. And settle into this. Find that spot of comfort. And then we're going to bring our hands back behind us. If you can't interlace those fingers, and we're just opening up our chest. You could also have flat hands, bringing the backs of the hands to your back and just bringing your your elbows towards one another. And then gently bringing in some movement with your neck. So we're going to draw a line with our chin up towards the ceiling, and then draw a line down with our chin to our chest. Keeping our awareness with our breath. Last one. Releasing those hands. Maybe allowing ourselves to take a nice inhale in through the nose. Maybe you exhale it out the mouth if that feels good, or exhale it out the nose. Let's do that 2 more times. Releasing that jaw, finding some softness in our face. And then gently coming up off those blocks, removing them. And we're going to come on to our seats, and we're going to bring that right leg out. That left leg is going to stay in. We're going to square those shoulders with that right foot. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, hinging forward, still keeping that chest nice and open. Paying attention if when you go into the certain poses that you feel a clenching in your jaw, just observe that and allow your jaw to soften. Inhale, back to center. Let's switch legs. Right leg comes in, left leg goes out, squaring that foot with our shoulders. Inhale as we lengthen, exhale, hinging forward. Allow the top of that thigh to relax. We want to feel this in the back side of our leg. to center. Let's come into easy pose. Notice which foot is forward, is in front. And we're just gonna walk, keeping our seat bones connected onto our mat. We're just gonna walk our hands as far forward as they can go while still keeping that connection to our mat. And then inhale, walking our hands back. Let's switch that front foot. So the opposite foot comes forward. Inhale as we lengthen, and then walking our hands forward. Maybe observing if we feel a little bit tighter on one side and then the other. That's completely normal. I'm always much tighter on my right side than my left side. Slowly walk your hands back to center. And then before we conclude our practice today, we're just going to give our feet a nice little massage. So taking our thumbs and kind of going over the entire foot. So pressing into those toes, pressing into the padding, the ball, the padding of that foot, working your way through the arch. Coming back into the heel, maybe squeezing it with your hand. Making sure that you touch every area of that foot. And when you feel like you've done that, then switching that out, coming onto the opposite foot. This might feel really good. You might feel some tight spots. Our feet take a lot of work throughout the day. They allow us to get to where we're going all day long. So it's nice to give them a little bit of attention after a hike, a walk, a run, or just the end of your day. And then when you feel that you have massaged all the areas, let's find ourselves then seated. Maybe your hands come to your knees. Inhale as you lengthen, opening up that chest, closing the eyes if that's comfortable, or finding a nice gentle gaze on the floor. Allow yourself to take 3 nice cleansing inhales and exhales. In through the nose, and maybe you'll let it come out the mouth. One more. Let's bring our hands together at heart center. Thank yourself for showing up today, taking a little time to stretch those muscles after you did some more vigorous movement today. Sending yourself a little bit of gratitude. Namaste.